One more thing about the songwriting process, because you mentioned that you write in spurts in a way. Was there maybe a point in your career when you were particularly prolific in writing, where a big spurt was happening, or does it happen in stages in a way?
It does, yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, I have songs right now that I've got pretty much all the music together and a melody, and I just, lyrically, I'm just going, God, what do I want to write about? You know, I've got a studio now. It's being put together in my house, so I'm going to have probably the first 3 months or 4 months of next year off, and I just want to bury myself in the studio. I'm going to try and do some shows with my solo band as well, but I really want to get into the songwriting thing and really start putting a lot of different ideas down, which I think it's another thing. I think for me, I'm a little bit ADD. You know, so for me to actually sit in a room, you know what I mean, and force myself to write, or I have to have something to play with, you know what I mean? So I think the studio thing is going to help me focus and just create some sort of a schedule where I get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, you know, see my wife off to work, and then go into my room and play, you know what I mean? So we'll see.
So this is maybe a bit early, but when do you want to release this next solo album?
Well, it's funny. I have a couple things coming out next year. I think last year I was touring in America doing the Mötley 94 record.
In Nashville, yeah.
Yeah, and I recorded a show in Nashville. And it came out great. Michael Wagner mixed it. It's called 94 Live, One Night in Nashville. And we just did one show. It was killer. And the thing was, I was going to release it around the same time Make Some Noise was going to come out. And I didn't want to do that. So I just held my thing off. And so I think it's going to come out in January or February, whatever. I'll do some shows to support that. But this January, like when I get home from this, I get home, I think December 21st or 2nd. Obviously, I'm going to take a couple days for the holidays, whatever. But then I want to really kind of sort my studio out and figure out how everything works, and then get in there. I've got keyboards and drum programs, and I've got, you know, whatever. And now I just really want to get in for the next 3 or 4 months and just dig in, you know what I mean? And just regardless of what it is, whether it's a funk song, a rock song, an acoustic song, a ballad, whatever, I just want to write. And because it's like the other thing about writing is, and just everything, like whether it's singing, writing, whatever, it's all like a muscle. And the more you use this for writing, the better you get at it, you know? And I feel like I'm getting better as I get older, but I want to be a little more prolific with it. You know what I mean? So.
Well, you mentioned that. Well, do you have to be in a certain mood then to write? Do you have to? Because you
I do. I do now, but I think that if I just, I think part of my thing about moods or things coming in spurts is because I haven't really made myself do it every day. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Like you say, with the muscle, you kind of...
Yeah. I just want to try for a few months with a studio and just program a drum beat and then let it play for a while and then see what I can come up with.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just do that for a couple of months. Do you know what I mean? I have, right now, I probably have enough material for a new record already. Ideas, but I just want to see. I just want to see maybe there's something in there that's even better than what I already have, you know, so we'll see.
You mentioned the 94 album that you're releasing in January. What made you go for that? What made you think, let's record this, make a DVD?
Well, a couple things. I didn't even realize it. I was doing a show somewhere, and it was with my solo band, and somebody in the audience yelled, it was in 2014, and somebody yelled, "Happy anniversary." And I was like looking around going, what are you talking, you know? And so I'm on stage and I'm talking to this person. I go, what are you talking about? And the person in the audience said, your Mötley record came out today in 1994. And I was like, oh, that's cool, you know, whatever. And I played a couple songs from the record. My manager was there and his wheels started turning. And he said, you know, you guys never really toured on that record. It was a very short period of time, maybe 3 months. And I said, yeah. And he goes, how do you feel about this year? You know, how do you feel about getting the guys in your band to learn that whole record and go out and do a little anniversary run? And I wasn't sure at first, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay. So I just threw it out there on Facebook. I'm like, hey, would you guys, you know, and the fans overwhelmingly were like, yes, I never saw that tour. I never saw that tour. We never came to Europe at all. We never played South America. We never played Canada. And there was a ton of places in America that we never played. We never played the West Coast. We never played the East Coast north of like Georgia.
Okay.
I mean, so there was a bunch of places even in America we didn't play. And so overwhelmingly everybody was like, yes, please do it. So I did it for a while. And then the problem of bringing it here to Europe, I you know, thought that maybe it would just take a few phone calls and I could get my band and bring them over to Europe and just do a whole bunch of shows and just knock it out. And unfortunately, you know, with things like visas for a lot of different countries, there's 5 guys, it's 5 hotel rooms, 5 meals every day, 5 airline tickets over and every day, or train tickets or whatever. You know, so it wound up looking at the budget and I'm like, wow, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this for the amount of money that the promoters are offering me. So I just went, you know what, let's put a cap on this. Let's just record it. I'll do a DVD and so it's a package thing, a DVD and the album together and throw it out there and then I can just move on and just whatever. And if I can't personally bring the band to Europe, then people can see what it looked like and hear it as, you know what I mean? So that's why we did it.
Okay. Delving into those songs and kind of learning them again, did it bring back memories?
Yeah, I was sitting there, I was telling myself, what the fuck was I thinking, screaming all these like smoke the sky, and I'm like, God, I'm like 20 years older now, I can't do this shit every day. But honestly, that whole record experience being with Mötley, it was fun.
Sure.
It was a great time. I had fun, and I'm very proud of the record, so why not? You know what I mean? But it's funny, I was just saying, I just did an interview a few days ago, and I'm going to do the Monsters of Rock cruise in February. So this guy said, oh, are you releasing the record? Yes. He goes, well, are you going to do the Mötley 94 on the Monsters of Rock cruise? And I said, no. And it's funny because I had this overwhelming response to do the Mötley 94 shows. During the shows, though, I'd get done and I would come off stage and everybody would be like, why didn't you play any Scream or Union? Okay. I go, what's the Mötley 94 show? And they're like, yeah, but I wanted to hear some Scream and some Union. So I just said, you know what, let's just do the record, put it out, and then boom, that way I can move on, and now I can just go do shows. I'll have some Mötley, I'll have some Scream, I'll have some Union, maybe even a Dead Daisies song or two, you know what I mean? And just go do whatever.